It is your boy T with another Have You Seen That with T movie review, and today we are reviewing Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And what a movie we had here. Definitely one of the best movies I've seen so far this year. Animation-wise, story-wise, this movie just gets it. The as a follow-up to the Oscar-winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse picks up, a few years later. Miles has a growth spurt, Gwen Stacy, Peter Parker, they all went back to their respective universes, and they're all searching for something, more. They're all missing that kinship that they had in the first movie, which was really the heart and soul of that movie. Was, these loners, these people, these outcasts figuring out their way in the world. And Into the Spider-Verse really digs deep into that, right? What happens after you think you found your place in the world, and those people go away. Those people move away for whatever reason, and now you have to reevaluate. You have to refine who you are. And this story is really a coming of age story about teenagers finding their place in the world. It's also a story about parenthood, right? All of the parents in this movie, Peter Parker, has May Parker, and he has a kid in his universe with Mary Jane, and he's trying to find his way as a father. Gwen is having her issues with her dad and her universe, and Miles Morales is having his issues, with his parents, with them trying to let their children go, right? Miles trying to go off to college and his mom really not wanting him to leave because he's her baby, and it's a story about uh, childhood innocence, teenage, moving on. But it's also really at the heart of the story is a story about parents trying to hold on to what they have. This movie has so many different spider characters pop up. Infamously, Ben Riley, one of the most polarizing Spider-Man characters of all times, pops up in this movie, and he's so brooding in every scene that he's in, and he has like these chisel muscles because he was drawn that way, because that was the style in the 90s whenever the whole Spider clone saga popped up. You had Jessica Drew played by Issa Rae, and she was fantastic. Spider Punk played by Daniel Kaluuya might be the greatest greatest character, ever created for this, in the Spider-Man universe. And just, it was just such a good time, right? Spider-Man 2099 played by Oscar Isaac. He came in there and he was the main antagonist, although he was not the villain. I won't spoil who the villain was, but it just was a good time. There's some cameos as they're going through the different universes. There are a few cameos in there that are just amazing. They're so dope in how they went about making this movie, how much thought was put into this movie, how much heart is put into this movie. I don't think it's ever been done before. I don't think we've ever had an animated movie win Best Picture, but if any animated movie had a chance of winning Best Picture, I feel like it would be this movie. It was that well done. It was that well voice acted. It was that well animated. It was that well written. It was just a perfect movie. In my eyes, I think the only issue, very minute issue, that I had with the movie was each universe in the movie had a different animation style, and they wrote about this when they were making it, and when they were before they went on their big press runs. They wrote that how they wanted each universe to have its own different animation style. And that's great, right? But some of it was a little bit visually jarring, right? It was a little bit hard to keep up with the way the way the animation kind of blended into the screen, if that makes any sense. And it could be because I was sitting very close to the screen. I'm a second row seat guy. Like, I love to sit there, lean my chair back, and kind of look up at this massive screen to just immerse myself in the world. And I felt it a little bit hard to do, especially during some of the action sequences, because it was a little bit jarring. And maybe on a smaller screen it'll come across a lot better. But definitely, I would say a 9.9 out of 10. That's how great this movie was. That's how minute the issue that I had with the animation at time got. It was such a wonderful movie. I had a great time watching it. And although it had quite a bit of a runtime, it never felt long. It actually felt too short because I wanted to watch the second part, right? It ended on a cliffhanger. There are no post-credit scenes, so there's no reason to stay at the theater after the credits have rolled. But it ended on a cliffhanger, and or ended on, a very ambiguous note because, of course, they are making Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse next. Hopefully that comes out next year, and we don't have to wait 2 or 3 years for that movie to come to our theaters. But it felt like the perfect length. It felt long, but it was so well done. It didn't feel like I was wasting time at the theater. It didn't feel like it was 30 minutes too long. It felt like it was like 3 hours too short. Like I could have watched the second part of this movie and still been good because it was so well done. I can't gush over enough about this movie. Definitely go check this movie out this weekend. I know the Boogeyman comes out as well, but Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is definitely worth your time, definitely worth your money. Take the whole family, take a date. It's definitely a date-worthy movie. It's definitely a family-worthy movie. It is just all of that. It's everything that you want in a cinematic experience in an animation film. Just great movie. I can't gush about it enough. Definitely go check out Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And that's that.